Hi, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel. Today my guest is Stephanie Nicolaou. Stephanie is a doula and also she is specializing in tantric therapy. She is helping women to go through pregnancy and connect with their bodies. So in this series of conversations we talk about connection between birth experience and sexuality, sensuality, and our relationships as women with our bodies. So I hope that conversation would be insightful, and if so, please don't forget to like it. And now to Stephanie. I was also wondering that, and as you said, that birth could happen in different ways right now, and there is a lot of medical environment still. And many women give birth just in the hospital with a bunch of strangers. Is there anything that we as women could learn from our birth experience that we can take further in our life, in our sexuality, sensuality, in the relationships with partners, with children, something that birth can teach us? If there is any lesson to learn or lessons to learn?
First of all, if we go a little bit back in history, in societies where they would see birth as an initiation or a rite of passage, a stage in a woman's life that brings her from one state to the other. That means that she never remains the same after birth. And they used to believe that a woman goes and travels in between worlds to bring the soul of her baby and birth it into the world. But in that journey, she carries then with her all the wisdom. She embodies the wisdom because birth is an embodied experience, spiritual experience even, that is needed for the next generation, to mother the next generation. So a woman would be seen as this wise person that crossed this bridge in between worlds and came back with this wisdom, and she was never received as the same person. So this is one of the things that we don't have now in our societies, and is deeply missing, because let's say you give birth, you went into this very deep experience, transformational experience, and then you go back to your tribe, or let's say your family, your friends, and they receive you as the same woman. They will still speak to you the same way. They will still talk to you as if nothing happened. And it is somehow a confusion, because every woman giving birth will go through that, but it's somehow not integrated enough because everybody sees you the same way. Or even if a step further, they just see you as the mother now, and not a woman that through the birth of her baby, she also gave birth of herself as a new person. So there's, oh my God, deep things to learn from the experience. And from what I see working with women, every woman will have her own experience of that. She will take the lessons she needs to take herself to the next level. We only see birth as just a physical thing to open up and take the baby out, but we don't integrate the psychosomatic and spiritual aspect of birth, and therefore we cannot fully receive the gifts that birth can give us.
Yes, Stephanie, I was wondering how someone could actually, like, what kind of work is needed after birth to actually, if someone wants to receive these gifts and wants to understand what this experience meant for me as a woman, what someone can do on a practical level?
Actually, I would take it a step before that, because a woman needs to be able to access that before and during her birth, to be able to then integrate her experience. And that comes back to why we say, I had a traumatic birth. We need to go back and say, was the woman feeling safe in her birth experience? Was the process of birth interfered with in a way that it stopped the birth? And she, yes, gave birth maybe very instrumentally, or even maybe C-section. in this way, her emotionality was in shock. And we go back again to the connection of the vagal nerve and the cervix and the brain and the heart. So it's all like connected. The vagus nerve is the nerve that is activated during a fight or flight response. And also on the contrary, during a parasympathetic state when everything is relaxed and smooth. So if a woman and her emotionality is in shock, but she's expected to give birth, yes, we can take the baby out. But what are the effects in a woman's life after that? So for me, we need to start from making sure and doing the best in creating an environment for ourselves as women, getting educated. What does my body need? How do I feel safe? And get this awareness that we can have options. The system cannot change from one day to the other, but it can change from one birth to the other when a woman stands for what she wants. I've seen women giving birth that really demanded what they wanted, and nobody can say no. Because we are in this animal state. We are like a lioness giving birth. Who can stand against a lioness? So we need to start from there. So education before birth, knowing her body before birth, knowing what she needs, and then after birth, integrating her experience, being able to speak with someone that really understands this transitional spiritual transition. And some people ask me, how come you have not given birth and you're supporting women at birth? And my answer to that, I am never going to go in the path that a woman goes. Even if I give my birth myself, a woman will have to walk that path by herself, for herself, because that's the nature of birth. But I am there going with her in that heightened state. And even if nobody understands what's happening, it's like I found this as I'm a keeper of that state, so that women have someone that understands them in that level during their birth. And then we have integration sessions where we analyze, or not so much, yes, maybe what the body went through and the emotional and mental responses to that experience. Or sometimes I have women that come to me and they're like, I don't understand what happened to me. I don't know why I had to take that choice. Everything was so fast. So having the knowledge, like say the scientific knowledge, but also the spiritual and emotional and psychological knowledge can help a woman understand her experience and digest, let's say, her experience. So getting support from someone that understands these stages is very important.
Is there any body work that could also support this integration of this experience that you could probably know of or practice yourself?
The tantric massage or therapeutic massage works on reversing the trauma that is being held in the body. So, for example, I work with women that after the first birth, but then after the second birth also, it was building up to have this trauma in her vulva because of episiotomy, and then the other birth was a C-section. So her body, even if she understood what happened, her body needed to release that. So through this specific massage, which is not just a massage, we're using a specific breath work that takes her into a parasympathetic state where she can access all those stored emotions that are in the body. And through, let's say, feeling all those unprocessed emotions, not necessarily not going into the head to understand in that moment, but feel it. Because trauma is irrational. And the responses after trauma, we call them triggers. They are very irrational. She didn't understand why she was freezing when her husband was coming to approach her and like with affection and intimacy. But she was like, I don't want to have sex. So we really need to go and reverse this neurological imprint from the body.
Nice.